I wanted to start this video with a story about just how bad my 9 to 5 was, because stories are good for engagement in YouTube videos, but to be honest with you, there wasn't a story worth telling. And that kind of proves the point, doesn't it? Whereas in my few years of being an entrepreneur, I could tell you the story about when I posted my first video and how nervous I was, the day that I made $35,000 in one day, how I worked for 6 months and got $0 to show for it, the day that my YouTube video got 1 million views and I made my first $1,000 online, the day I hit 100,000 subscribers, the day I got my first hate comment, the day I hired someone for the first time. It never ends. I could tell you about the 4 months I spent living and working in Thailand. I could tell you about all of the times that I learned life-changing lessons. And I could even tell you the stories that happened as a result of having all this extra time to spend with family and friends because of business. Ask yourself this: if the intensity of your life experience, like your emotions, were from a 0 to 10 scale, 0 being like the absolute worst emotion imaginable, and 10 just being excellent, like ecstasy, like the best emotion you could possibly imagine, would you rather live a 4 to 6 life given to you by the norm, the 9 to 5, or a 0 to 10 life given to you by pursuing your own path? You have a legacy to make that's bigger than just 50 years of putting numbers into a spreadsheet for a corporation. And imagine this: imagine you're 90 years old and you can barely move. How much would you spend for an hour of your time at 20, 25, 30, just to live like that for an hour again? You'd probably spend thousands on that, right? Then why are you trading your time for $10 an hour? It's mind-boggling to me, and it's said so often, but does most of the population not understand that they only have one life? You have one, and then it's over, and they want to spend the next 50 years waking up, going to work, spending 8-9 hours on a computer or laying bricks, coming back home, watching TV for an hour, going to sleep, and repeating that for 50 years? Imagine your life 10 years from now if you don't take action. Imagine just how painfully the same it will be. You might have maybe saved up just enough money, if you're lucky, to be in a slightly better car or a slightly better house. You might have even been able to help your family a little bit, but you can't change their lives. You can't make a real difference in their life or your life with a job. Right now, you're absolutely sick of your job. You're watching videos like this, you have ambition, but you're still in that life. You're still in the danger zone. Take action now before your brain numbs this emotion down, because it will. To save us from pain, our brain bottles up emotions, and then the worst outcome of all will happen, which is you're going to become okay with it. And with that, your potential, the life you could have lived, the life your current and future family could have lived, all down the drain. But there's an alternative. With a job, 10 years is nothing. You might have got a few promotions if you're lucky and gone from $25,000 a year to $40,000 a year. This is staying in your comfort zone. Nothing good ever happens there. When I started my business, every year my salary has tripled. This is almost scary to think of where I'm gonna be in 5 years from now. If you've solved any problem in your life, lost weight, learned to play guitar, fixed your mental health, literally anything, people will pay you for it. If you've done anything like that, realistically with the right knowledge, you could escape your job just 60 days from now. Start now, start doing research, or reach out to me. I can help you do it in 60 days. The link is in the description. But if you don't want to work with me, just start. At first it will be hard. It's going to be chaotic, uncertain, and yes, you won't make money for some time, but that's the price you have to pay. It's almost like a rite of passage in online business. When I started, I had no idea what I was doing. So after I actually picked something and stuck to it, which was 4 years after I got the initial idea to not work a job, by the way, it took me 8 or 9 months to make money. Now think of what all of the normal people would say to that. To do this, you can't be normal. You need to have this ambition in your head, and you need to let that drive you. And you have this right now. It's almost funny because the hardest part is right at the beginning. It's a test to see if you can endure the stress, because after a year or two, it's still stressful, but it gets a lot less so because you actually know what you're doing. You can either be stuck making $30,000 a year for the rest of your life, or in 3 to 4 years of business, you can realistically work up to $300,000 a year. Think of that moment where you get your first breakthrough. You might have worked for months to get there. It almost feels like the first day of school, starting it as a kid. We don't get those experiences when we grow up, but business gives you those experiences. It gives you this discovery. You can feel like a kid again. All you have to do is realize that you have the freedom and use it. At first, it's stressful, but it gets easier. You get used to it. You create systems for your work. Your income will become more stable. It won't stress you out nearly as much after a while. Getting on camera used to be really hard for me. Now I just sit down and start talking. Remember, you literally have one life. There isn't any other option. You have to escape your job and you have to make business work. All of your dreams are on the other side of fear. If you want my personal help to make your first few $1,000s online, check the link in the description. See you next video.